recently named Ambassador of Bucks County by the Chamber of Commerce. What special meaning does this award have for you?
Well, I was quite surprised when the gentleman told me I was an ambassador. I was wondering, as I teach social studies, the usual meaning of an ambassador. I didn't know if I was going to be doing any traveling. But when I realized what it was, it's a tremendous honor. When I see some of the other outstanding people that have received this award, it's kind of a very humble experience. You know, Al Holbert, the great racer, and James Michener, and just to name a couple. But it's something that is not done by an individual, because it's recognition for what our football team has done, and I've had a lot of great assistance, and our recognition has been a culmination of a lot of outstanding teams. So it's something that really is, I think, a tribute to our program. So it's kind of a thrilling thing. A lot of nice things have happened to us. I've received a lot of awards, but you know, this is kind of special that you know, the Chamber thinks that it's significant that we've had this recognition. But the one thing I did like to see was in one paper I read that it was kind of a tribute to coaches in general who are out in the trenches every day working with kids in all sports. And I think it's a part of education a lot of people take for granted and call it a frill. But in this day and age where oftentimes kids aren't home as much as they used to be, and there are a lot of negative influences, I think that if they're involved in football or track or band or whatever it might be, I think there are some real positive things they can learn from just the discipline of having to commit to something, the commitment and having to work with other people. So I think it's nice that you know, they would single out a coach, and I think I'm representing a lot of coaches.
You spend many hours with student athletes, both on the field and in the classroom. What are their major concerns, and have these concerns changed in the last 5 years?
Well, I think unfortunately a lot of the concerns, we don't get the kids out for the team. I used to have 75 to 80. The school population is approximately the same, and we're getting anywhere from maybe 60 to 70, and you're finding a lot of young people today feel that they have to work. And I think that's just too much emphasis on the material things, and they're only going to have their high school career one time, and it's such a great experience. I believe I played the 3 sports in high school. My father encouraged me to get involved, and I don't like to see kids say, well, I have to work or I have to pay my car insurance, and they miss out regardless of what the extracurricular is. You like to see them get involved, and then it hurts their studies. So that's one of the big changes. And the other thing is, you know, with a lot of the broken home situations, you don't have that family support, and you don't have that motivation and discipline. Oftentimes parents will thank the coaches here for doing a heck of a job, and invariably every time they've already given you a heck of a product, in so much as the young man is a gentleman, he's disciplined, and you might have to polish off a few rough edges. But I think a big part of our program, the success, has been the parents in this area. You'll find most of our outstanding young men have been fortunate to come from families where they've been given the support, and they've been told they don't have to go out and work, and they've been encouraged to get involved.
What are your feelings about Proposition 42, which would require minimum athletic standards for college scholarships?
Well, I'm against that. I was for Proposition 48. And Proposition 48, of course, made a young man ineligible for the first year, but you could still give him a scholarship. But now what I think it's going to do, you'll have a young man that will have to pay his way, but he'll say, wait a minute, I can't. Now you've eliminated him from that college opportunity. If you watch TV and you watch football and some of these other sports, you'll find that they'll mention, here's a successful Proposition 48 guy, he's now on the dean's list. Well, those kids will never make it if they're not given the scholarships. If they're from you know, ghetto environments, where are they going to get the money to go to Penn State or Maryland or you name it? So I think that's a little bit too harsh, and I hope it is repealed. But I hope they still stay with the minimum standards where 48 was your core courses,
Right, okay.
your 700 in the boards, and I think a 2.0 in grade point.
Let's talk a little bit about your career. You've had tremendous success. Your teams have won 10 championships, and you've got this 54-game unbeaten streak still going. Many coaches could only dream of that kind of a success. How did this happen, and what do you attribute it to?
How did it happen? There are times where people say, well, why are you winning and some of the other teams aren't? Football can be complicated, and I think you have to look from our weight program to maybe how we motivate our kids to the system we run. So I could go on for hours as to why we're successful, but just to highlight a couple things, I think our kids are extremely dedicated, and we're very big on the work ethic. And I think the other thing you got to watch when you're successful a lot, you tend to be complacent and you tend to get overconfident. And we're constantly trying to sell our young men to respect every opponent and not try to live on last week's performance. And I think our young men have done a great job. I'm amazed myself to see 16 and 17-year-olds read about how great they are, and other coaches saying, wow, this is the best team we've faced in 25 years, and not get big heads and go out and get clobbered the next week. It is on every level. I see the professionals get overconfident, and I think the captains we've had, and that's one of the things we try to do that's helped us. We tell our young men that we want you to lead, and we give them a lot of say with talking to the team. We vote for 2 captains, and then we have senior leaders. And I think that's been very helpful to us in getting kids to motivate other players.
Thank you.
Thank
Enjoyed
you,
talking
Sharon.
to you.
My pleasure.
Linda, I